This video contains spoilers for Arcane Season 1 and 2. You probably already know this by heart. Cait says, "Do you really think that I needed all the guards at the X gate?" And Vi looks at her, but have you noticed how Vi looks at her? I am not referring to her quick glance at Cait's lips. I am referring to her general expression, and in particular how big and shiny her eyes are. Just like in episode 5 of season 1. These two prison scenes have in common not only the place, but also fundamental emotions for Cait and Vi's relationship. The second prison scene is the emotional evolution of the first one. Let me explain. Starting with the scene in season 1. What are the emotions here? We are introduced to Vi's current life in episode 4 through some flashback about an accident of violence that she participated in prison. These accidents are not really accidents, they are not exceptional, based on how the guard refers to it. Then we see the lift that Cait uses to reach Vi's cell. It keeps going down, 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 and down. It seems like it's going to the deepest place on Earth, where prisoners are practically buried alive, far away from the rest of humanity. Cait walks in the corridor. It's very dark, and the cell in which Vi is vehemently punching a bag is even darker. In episode 5, both Vi and the guard casually mention that the prisoners are regularly beaten for no apparent reason. This is the life, or rather the absence of life, that Vi has experienced for several years, completely dehumanizing. She has been treated as a vicious, dangerous animal. Even plants are treated better than her, because at least they are usually provided with light in order to survive. This condition is just an intensified version of what Vi was already experiencing as a Zonite when she was free. She used to repeat that Piltovians look down on them, but her dream is to teach them respect for Zonites. So Vi is very aware of the contempt Piltovians address to people like her, barely considering her a person, and not deserving a treatment like a person, but first of all like a criminal. This attitude from Piltovians is very dehumanizing because it attaches a judgment, and a negative one, directly to the bare identity of a person, making it impossible for that person to show who they really are by their choices and actions, because they can't change their identity. This means erasing a person's agency and self-determination, condemning them to the category they are supposedly born in because of their identity, without any possibility of escape. Cait plays into these prejudices too. When she interrogates Vi, she says, "In which mad world would I trust somebody like you?" She means she's subscribing to the prejudice that all Zonites are criminals and all prisoners are naturally evil and untrustworthy. So whatever Vi says or does is probably a trick to damage her for her own gain. This attitude precludes any possibility of a human relationship. In fact, Vi reacts offended and angry, calling Cait and all the enforcers hypocrite criminals. But before belittling her like this, Cait has done something else. She decided to try giving a bit of trust to this prisoner. This choice is symbolized by her stepping over the security line separating them, while showing her the evidence she gathered about Jinx. This allows her to catch Vi's attention for the first time and start a more collaborative response from her. But as said, Cait quickly goes back to marking their distance and her supposed moral superiority as a Piltovian enforcer, belittling Vi. But then Cait changes her mind again. She chooses to trust the Zonite prisoner to be her guide in Zone, and she frees her. Cait is aware of the great risk she is taking. She has an angry and hesitating expression. She fears she will regret this. She doesn't trust this prisoner, but she is accepting the risk. The risk is that maybe the prisoner will betray her and this was a bad choice. But the twin risk is that maybe the prisoner deserved trust and this was the right choice. Cait is taking a bet. She accepts both risks. She accepts that this Zonite might be trustworthy and that she can't know without testing her first. She is distancing herself from the prejudice. For Vi, this is an important moment, of course, because she is getting out of prison. But there is something more too. It's evident that this stranger, a Piltovian enforcer, has decided to give her a chance and trust her. This enforcer needs Vi's help. She's relying on her collaboration and skills. It's the first time, probably, that a Piltovian treats Vi not as an evil Zonite, but as a person that has something good to offer to another person. And it's probably the first time in years that somebody treats her like a human, not like a caged dangerous beast without thoughts nor feelings. Vi has her freedom and her humanity back because Cait chooses to see the possibilities in her, the humanity in her, beyond the prejudice in which she has been imprisoned until now. Vi is a whole person again. Of course, she has always been a whole person, but she could not fully express her humanity because of the limitations imposed by others. Now Cait gives her the freedom to express the whole person who Vi is. Of course, Vi and Cait don't fall in love right away. Their bond is slowly formed and reinforced through their adventures together. But this trust Cait puts in Vi's hands is the first fundamental step, allowing all the next step in their relationship to happen. In fact, their relationship falls apart when the humanizing trust is shattered by Caitlyn in season 2. Before the official breakup, Cait already shows some signs of a shifting attitude. In episode 1, she sets a situation of us against them and pressures Vi to join our side. Then she calls the Zonites animals. During the mission in Zone, in episode 2 and 3, we see that she doesn't think of the unlucky Zonites meeting her strike team as human to respect, but as criminals, allies of criminals, keepers of information to extort, expendable collateral victims of her mission, not even deserving to breathe. After the fight against Jinx and Sevika, she says that she regrets believing that Vi could be different than Jinx, attributing to their shared bloodline, the identity that Vi is born with, the cause of Vi disappointing her expectations. And this implies that she believes now that Vi, because of the identity she is born with, independently of her supposed irrelevant free choice as a whole person, can only be an ally to Jinx, and therefore an enemy to her. So Cait projects the dehumanizing prejudices on Zonites and then on Vi too. And she breaks the promise she made to Vi just a few hours, probably, before abandoning her. Without mutual respect as equal human peers, any relationship between them is impossible. In episode 6, Cait and Vi meet again, and they become allies again. I have already analyzed in depth this scene and its hidden details, so I won't repeat it here. I'll just say what is relevant for the topic of this video. Cait and Vi are reconnecting, but their broken bond is not completely fixed yet. They have to trust each other a bit for their plan against Ambessa to work, but not completely. In fact, the first thing they do in their next conversation, or rather argument, is reproaching to each other some details of the plan that they did not disclose to each other, or some important choices made without consulting each other. So the mutual trust is not restored yet. And in particular, Cait was the one projecting prejudices on Vi and dehumanizing her when they broke up. And she still has to apologize somehow for that and demonstrate that she will do better. And this happens in the prison scene before they started doing the thing. When Cait arrives, Vi has just let Jinx escape by accident. She is regretting it and blaming herself for it. She tells Cait that she can blame her for tricking her. She means that she would understand if Cait applied to her again the prejudice about sneaky, untrustworthy Zonites. She would understand if Cait withdrew her trust from her forever. In fact, catching Jinx and avenging her mother has been Cait's obsession during the whole season. It's the reason why she started distancing herself from her compassionate, just morals that we observed in season 1, why she broke up with Vi despite being in love, and why she accepted to become a dictator and invaded and colonized Zone. Catching Jinx was really a big motivation for her. And now she reveals that she prepared everything so that Vi could let her escape. That means she made the perfect situation so that Vi could act out of her freest choice without any limit, only her agency and her humanity. Also, Cait trusts Vi to deal with her biggest goal. Again, like she trusted her with her mission in season 1. But in this case, she is also accepting the high probability that she will lose her goal, that she will lose Jinx. And that is okay as long as this allows Vi to make her free choice. Also, this allows Cait to give Vi back her humanity, to consider her as a person, a trustworthy person, and to respect her choices. Cait is giving her back what she stole from her. She accepts any choice by Vi as long as it's her free choice, the expression of her free will as a respected and esteemed person. And Vi realizes, when she learns that Cait chose to let her decide and trusted her, Vi sees her humanity restored. She goes from the stereotype of the untrustworthy Zonite, fearing that Cait would only see that in her, to a cherished, respected person. Again, she was always a whole person, but she suffers when she is not recognized and treated as such by others. Here Cait recognizes her as a whole person again, by trusting her with the biggest and most important role she has had. Vi looks at Cait in the same way she did in season 1, when she felt treated like a human for the first time. The fundamental base for the relationship is restored immediately. The relationship can continue, exactly from the point where it was interrupted. Vi also looks quickly at Cait's lip. As soon as she feels humanized and respected again, and Cait feels again like a safe space that lets her be her whole self, she feels the attraction to her again. Then Cait adds, "You've grown a bit predictable," which further confirms Vi's humanization by Cait planning ahead to grant her free choice. And it also confirms to Vi that she can continue her relationship with Cait because she will receive respect from her. So she picks it up from where they left, the kiss before the breakup. I agree that it is weird that they have intercourse in a prison cell, but at the same time I think it fits the development of their relationship. Consent is fundamental for sexual intimacy, and consent can only be given from peer to peer in a context of mutual respect, when every participant in the act recognizes the humanity of the others and their freedom to choose what they want and what they don't want, which is exactly the situation that Vi and Cait were able to reach together. So yes, it happens in a weird place and at a weird timing, but it makes sense as a practical demonstration and visual representation of the relational bond they have achieved. I chose to analyze these scenes because they show what effect Cait has on Vi, what kind of person Vi can be when she is around Cait, and why she likes it. It complements another video I made in which I analyzed the reunion and I highlighted the effect Vi has on Cait, what happens to Cait when she is around Vi. I like that these two both influence each other and allow the other to be the best version of herself, even if in very different ways. Here is the video I am talking about with the analysis of the reunion. Like, subscribe and share your opinion in the comments. And give a look to my playlist of Arcane video essays. There is a bunch of them about various characters and scenes. Bye!